Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive. Now, today's AI Daily Deep Dive is a bit different. It was actually researched and generated entirely by AI.
That's right. So we're essentially letting the AI guide our exploration today.
Exactly. So for the next few minutes, we're getting you the shortcut to today's top 5 AI news stories as curated by our AI assistant. Let's jump in.
Let's do it.
Okay, first story. Meta. They're really pushing hard into AI, aren't they? Making some, well, pretty bold moves.
Oh, absolutely. Bold and expensive. We're hearing reports of astronomical salaries, up to $100 million, trying to lure top engineers away from OpenAI and others.
100 million, and they poured, what, $14 billion into scale AI, brought Alexandr Wang on board too, chasing this idea of superintelligence.
Yeah, the scale is, it's really something. Zuckerberg's personally driving it, apparently concerned Llama. Their own model has sort of underperformed.
Uh-huh.
But, the really interesting angle here, beyond just the sheer cash they're throwing around, might be why. Is it truly about building the ultimate superintelligence first?
Or something else?
Or, as some analysts like Mehmet Kanayaz are suggesting, is it more about deeply weaving AI into their core business?
Yeah.
Advertising. Maybe the absolute best LLM isn't the point.
So utility within their existing massive ecosystem might be the actual end game, making the ads work better, streamlining things.
Could be. Consistent utility might be more valuable to them long-term than winning the LLM arms race outright. Though investors are apparently a bit nervous about Zuck's level of control here.
I bet. Okay, fascinating strategy play. Let's pivot now to something with potentially huge implications for everyone listening. Health. Microsoft.
Right, the MAI Diagnostic Orchestrator, MAI-DXO.
Yeah, that one. They're claiming it can diagnose patients 4 times more accurately than human doctors and cut costs by 20%. That sounds, well, almost like medical superintelligence leap.
It's definitely a significant step they're reporting. The way it works is pretty clever. It coordinates multiple different AI models, sort of like simulating a panel of expert doctors debating a case.
Okay, like a virtual tumor board or something.
Exactly. And in their tests, they hit 80% accuracy. The human doctors in the comparison group only managed 20%. If this holds up, think about the affordability potential for healthcare. It's huge.
80% versus 20. Wow. But hang on, 20% for human doctors, that sounds low. Were there specific circumstances? What are the caveats?
That's the critical question. You're right. Experts like David Sontag at MIT are pointing this out. They're urging caution about real-world use, noting the human docs in the study had certain limitations.
Like maybe not access to full patient history or time pressure?
Possibly. An AI might miss subtle, practical patient factors that a human doctor would pick up on. So the next big step, as Eric Topol always emphasizes, has to be proper, rigorous clinical trials. See how it really performs day to day.
Makes sense. You need that real-world validation. Okay, shifting gears again, let's talk economics. This one surprised me. The AI monetization gap.
Ah, yeah, the Menlo Ventures report. Big numbers.
Huge numbers. 2 billion AI users globally. That's massive adoption. But only 3% are actually paying for these services.
It's a tiny fraction, isn't it? We're looking at maybe $12 billion in annual revenue worldwide, and OpenAI, mostly with ChatGPT Plus, is grabbing the lion's share of that, around $10 billion.
So the big question is, why? Why aren't more people opening their wallets?
Well, the report suggests higher engagement for things like, say, image generation, creative tasks, but maybe less willingness to pay for general chat. What's really interesting is who is using it most.
Go on.
Millennials, apparently, especially parents, driven less by just age and more by, life complexity, juggling work, kids, schedules.
No, that actually makes perfect sense. You're not using it because it's cool tech. You're using it because you desperately need help managing the chaos.
Precisely. So this gap, this white space, is seen as a big opportunity. Future success might lie in AI tools that tackle those really annoying, high-friction daily tasks, building consistent practical utility people are willing to pay for.
Like an AI assistant that actually helps with meal planning or coordinating family activities. I can see people paying for that. Okay, speaking of AI doing complex things, creativity.
The creativity paradox.
Yeah. How do models like DALL-E come up with genuinely novel images if they're fundamentally just pattern matchers trained on existing data?
It's a really fundamental question. And some physicists, Mason Kam and Surya Ganguly at Stanford, think they've actually formalized it mathematically.
Really? They put math to creativity?
Sort of. They argue AI creativity isn't some magic spark. It emerges directly from the model's architecture. Specifically, 2 properties, locality and translational
Oh
equivariance.
yeah, break those down a bit.
Locality is basically how the AI often focuses on generating small patches of an image somewhat independently, without always seeing the whole picture at once. Translational equivariance means it recognizes patterns regardless of where they appear in the image.
Right.
And they built this predictive model, the ELS machine, based on these ideas. It could predict what a diffusion model would output with like 90% accuracy. It suggests creativity kind of emerges deterministically from these architectural constraints.
So does that explain things like those weird extra fingers we used to see a lot in early AI art?
Exactly. That could be a result of locality generating fingers in one patch without fully coordinating with the hand generated in another patch. It's like biological development, where complex shapes emerge from local cellular interactions.
Wow. So creativity, human or AI, might just be making sense of incomplete information in a structured way.
That's the implication. A really fascinating way to think about it.
It really is. Okay, finally, let's touch on something deeply human. Empathy. Can AI genuinely replicate it?
A big international study, Hebrew University, Harvard, UT Austin, looks right at this. And the short answer, not really. Or at least, we don't perceive it that way.
How so?
People consistently rated empathy as more authentic, more satisfying when they thought it came from a human. Even if the actual words were identical to an AI-generated message, the label mattered.
Just knowing it was human made it feel more real?
Pretty much. And get this, people were willing to wait sometimes days or weeks for a human response rather than get an instant AI one.
That's quite something, delaying gratification for perceived authenticity.
And it gets even more nuanced. If people were told a human message had been helped by AI, the perceived sincerity actually dropped.
So even AI assistants tainted the human connection.
It seems so. It really underscores that true empathy in our perception isn't just about the content, it's about the perceived effort, the emotional labor, the investment we believe another human put into it.
So in this age of AI communication booming, actual human empathy becomes even more valuable, not less.
Exactly. It's not obsolete. It's potentially becoming a premium commodity for genuine connection. That human touch, that feeling someone truly invested their time in feeling, it seems irreplaceable.
What a fascinating journey through today's AI landscape, from Meta's huge financial bets and Microsoft's diagnostic ambitions.
To the puzzle of AI monetization,
Yeah.
the surprising mechanics of AI creativity, and yeah, the enduring vital role of human empathy.
It really covers a lot of ground.
It really does. And it leaves you thinking, doesn't it? As AI gets woven deeper into, well, almost everything we do, how will you choose to strike that balance? How will you leverage its incredible power while still valuing those irreplaceable human nuances, like empathy and judgment? Something to ponder